They called him a monster, a curse, too ugly, too strange, too terrifying for children to be around. His own owners screamed at shelter workers to take this creature away and never bring him back. But 3 years later, that same monster would teach a family what unconditional love truly means. This is Silver, a bull terrier who was abandoned at 1 year old because his face didn't fit society's definition of beautiful. What happened next will completely shatter every stereotype you've ever had about rescue dogs. The shelter doors swung open on an ordinary Tuesday afternoon, but what walked through them was anything but ordinary. A man dragged a white bull terrier inside, his face twisted with disgust, his voice dripping with contempt. "Take this monster," he shouted at the stunned workers. "I don't want him anymore." The staff froze, mouths hanging open. They'd seen surrenders before, sad goodbyes filled with tears, but this was raw rejection, spoken loud enough for the entire building to hear. One worker finally found her voice. "Sir, can you tell us why you're surrendering him?" The man's response came fast, venomous. "He scares my children. His face is horrifying, unnatural, like he's cursed or something." Before anyone could respond, he turned and walked away, leaving Silver, yes, that was his name, standing in the lobby, leash still attached, tail tucked, head hanging so low his nose nearly touched the floor. Silver tried to follow, his paws moving instinctively toward the door, toward the man who was supposed to love him, but the man spun around and screamed, "Stay." Silver sat. He stopped moving, and in that moment, surrounded by strangers in a cold building, he understood. He was unwanted, abandoned. The shelter workers gathered around him slowly, their hearts breaking with every step. They ran his medical tests, examined his unique bull terrier features, the egg-shaped head, the small triangular eyes, the powerful muscular frame. Then the blood work came back. Silver hadn't received vaccinations in over a year. Worse, he had bloody diarrhea, an infection requiring immediate treatment and ongoing monitoring. The vet bills would be significant, and suddenly the surrender made sense. His previous owner didn't just dislike Silver's appearance, he didn't want to pay for his care. He chose convenience over commitment. Days turned into weeks. If you're watching this and haven't subscribed yet, I have to say I'm a little heartbroken. Stories like Silver's need your support. Hit that subscribe button right now. You won't regret it. The shelter staff fell completely in love with him. They treated his infection, updated his shots, gave him the medical attention he desperately needed. Silver began to heal, not just physically, but emotionally. He started wagging his tail again, started greeting people with that wide bull terrier smile, mouth stretched open in pure joy. He was ready for a second chance. It was late on a Saturday afternoon, just minutes before closing time, when the shelter doors opened one last time. A man walked in, looking slightly rushed, his words tumbling out quickly. "My wife's been wanting a dog for months," he said, scanning the room. "She's stuck between a few breeds: Golden Retriever, Labrador, Pit Bull, Rottweiler. We can't decide. Can you show me what you have?" The staff nodded and began the tour, walking him past kennels filled with wagging tails and hopeful faces. They showed him the Goldens, fluffy, perfect family dogs. The Labs, energetic, loyal, classic choices. The Pit Bulls and Rottweilers, strong, protective, misunderstood breeds. The man nodded politely at each one, his expression thoughtful but uncertain. And then he saw Silver. He stopped walking, stopped breathing. His eyes locked onto the white bull terrier sitting calmly in his kennel, head tilted slightly, those small eyes watching him with quiet curiosity. "Oh my God," the man whispered, his voice filled with wonder. "What is that? I've never seen a breed like this before." The shelter worker smiled, recognizing that look. She told him everything: the breed's history, the unique characteristics, the personality traits. And then, more quietly, she told him about Silver's past, the abandonment, the cruel words, the medical issues. The man listened without interrupting, his eyebrow raised, his gaze never leaving Silver's face. When she finished, he said 3 words that changed everything. "Can I adopt him?" The worker hesitated, her smile fading. "Sir, Silver has a medical condition that requires ongoing care. He needs monitoring, regular vet visits, consistent attention. He's not low maintenance." But the man didn't back down. "Please," he said, his voice steady, "I want him. Let me take him home." The paperwork was signed, the adoption was finalized, and for the first time in weeks, Silver walked out of those shelter doors, not dragged, not screamed at, not abandoned, but chosen, wanted, loved. The front door opened, and Silver stepped into his new home, his paws tentative on unfamiliar floors. Sarah appeared in the doorway. Then she saw Silver. Her jaw dropped, and then, unexpectedly, she burst into laughter. "Oh my God, what is that?" she gasped between giggles. "He looks like a pig, an actual pig." Silver didn't shrink away. Instead, his mouth stretched open in that signature Bull Terrier grin, his whole face radiating joy, like he was in on the joke. Like he understood that this wasn't cruel mockery, this was playful, loving teasing, the kind that happens in real families. Sarah turned to David. "Honey, this isn't one of the breeds we talked about. Why did you choose him?" David smiled, his hand resting on Silver's head. "Because if I'd picked one of those breeds, we'd always wonder if we made the right choice. But Silver, he's the best choice we never knew we needed." That was 3 years ago. Today, Silver is 4 years old. The medical condition that once defined him, gone, completely healed. David and Sarah divide responsibilities with natural ease. Sarah handles his meals, grooming, and gentle play. David takes charge of wrestling matches, tug-of-war, training sessions. They're a team, a family, and sometimes they'll stare at Silver's unique face and start laughing because yes, he does look unusual, but then they remember the shelter, the abandonment, the cruel words, the second chance, and their laughter turns to tears, their smiles turn to tight hugs. Silver taught them something profound. Family isn't about perfection, it's about choosing to love the ones who need it most. Silver knows what family means now. He's not a monster, he's not a curse. He's exactly who he was always meant to be, loved, wanted, and finally home. If this story touched your heart and you're still not subscribed, please don't wait any longer. Hit that subscribe button. What would you do if you walked into a shelter and saw Silver? Tell me in the comments below. If this story moved you, please hit that like button. It helps more people find these incredible stories.